You gotta love it. Proper British coastline. We're on an adventure across the UK as it opens up for travel again. Run! Yes, we're open! From rugged coastlines to breathtaking landscapes and natural habitats. See that? Our journey will take us to the 4 nations that make up the United Kingdom. And with an eye on our carbon footprint, we're in an all-electric revamp of an iconic British motor. On this week's show, Krista goes behind the wheel in Northern Ireland,
where my search for a seabird pays off.
Are they all birds? There must be hundreds of thousands of birds here.
I take on a local delicacy.
You got me. I ate one. Well done.
And try an unusual test drive.
This is genius.
Now is the time if you want to get excited.
Away we go!
I'm in southeast Northern Ireland and I'm trying to get a good lay of the land.
I mean, you really take it all in from here, don't you? You've got the history,
Oh,
the
yeah.
landscape, the lochs, the mountains, it's all here.
Say that's the Isle of Man and that's Scotland.
You can even wave to the neighbours.
Yep, we do indeed.
Plus, after the last year and a half, this seems like a good way to get away from it all. Ken found during the first lockdown that lots more people were getting in touch to take to the skies.
When people came to have this experience, it's almost like people were kind of locked down, and this offered them an amazing sense of space.
Well, that's probably part of it. A lot of them accrued a lot of cash that they couldn't spend on other experiences, and they decided this was the experience to have.
Now's the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And Ken's microlight business is just one of thousands here to have had to cope with the ups and downs of the pandemic.
We're heading off from here. We're behind us, beyond the mountains, is the border with the Republic of Ireland, and we're heading straight north and up to the coast in this, the final part of our series.
My journey will take me over 100 miles up the coast to finish at one of this country's iconic natural wonders, Giant's Causeway.
Oh, here we go.
And it all starts by leaving petrol power behind and switching to the travel show electric van for an early morning visit to Killock Bay in County Down.
Check that out. Smooth.
It was too early for the hotel breakfast this morning. And the idea is that I have breakfast at this place I'm going, which I suspect to most people would be a great delight, a real delicacy. Whereas for some other people, myself included, it's a bit more of a daunting prospect. Let's see how we go.
This is one of a number of bays along the coast here that over the years have become renowned for a local delicacy. Brother and sister Luke and Perrin have been farming them by the thousands.
Hello there.
Hey, yeah.
Well, I think I've probably found the right place. I think, are those oyster beds out there?
Yep, it's oyster beds down there.
Fantastic. I guess we go out there on the tractor,
Yeah,
do
do
we?
you want to jump on the chiller?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
So we just jump on?
Yes, jump on.
All right.
Along the coast of Northern Ireland, inlets off the sea like Killock Bay have developed as an ideal place to farm oysters. They say that each bay, with its distinctive conditions, gives the oysters slightly different flavours. Luke and Perrin's family oyster business has nearly 700 bags of oysters out in this bay. Each oyster grows for around 3 years before it's considered for release to market, and lots of care goes into making them taste their best.
Well, these are the big ones ready to go to the market, the restaurants and such, so we turn them every 3 or 4 weeks. We turn them because there's growth on them. And to show you all this white and purple,
Yeah.
that's all new growth. So that breaks off, and so we turn the bags to break that off, which makes the oysters harder and the shell is nice and round. So you pick the bag up, and you grab it on the sides, like so, yeah, and then you turn this way and you hit it, and let it go, and back up again, other way, hit it, and then back over. If they're on the seabed, they would just roll. The shells would keep going down and making them more rounder and harder. Naturally, that's the shape they want to go to. So the more you do that, the better the meat quality and the content of the meat. So that is, yeah, seems to be an endless sort of, which is good and bad, isn't it?
And how's business been in the sort of the recent times?
Whenever COVID came, last March, everything stopped basically. Basically everything stopped. So we had no local market, it was sort of gone. The exporting again, it sort of tapered off and finished. So we found other sort of channels, but it's only really getting back to the way it was now. As far as we were concerned, we were down here and we actually got a lot more work done. So we ended up being able to work the oysters a lot more than we've done before, and there's much better quality now, and much better products. So we found that with that little break, we were able to fix things and work the oysters a lot more, and bag them much better and work them just better and more often to get a nice, better finished product.
So an unexpected benefit of COVID is nicer oysters.
Yeah, turns out it was. Turns out it was for us. So yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
There we go. Are you ready? You're going to really enjoy it.
Before the pandemic, Perrine worked selling oysters direct to customers on market stalls, to people who sometimes, like me, need a little convincing.
So what do you say at the market when somebody says, oh, I don't know about that? Give me your sales pitch.
A lot of people would think, oh, in their minds they don't like the idea of it, so they don't do it. But there's always the same reaction. They're, oh, I don't know about it. Then they put it in their mouth, they make another funny face, then they chew it, swallow it, and then, oh, they decide that was a good aftertaste. So it's just, you have to chew it.
You have to chew it? Because I've heard that you're supposed to just swallow it down.
Well, you can do, but it's much better just to chew it.
Okay.
Ready?
Oh, as I'll ever be. I mean, it doesn't taste of fish really, does it?
No, it's not fishy at all. It's very like the sea.
There's like salt and seaweed more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I can see how you could convince people. All right, you got me.
Good.
I ate one, well done.
Try them again.
Well, that went better than I expected. With breakfast sorted, I'm off for some culture in the next part of my journey, which takes me up the coast for a quick stop off at Northern Ireland's capital city, Belfast. Here and in some other parts of Northern Ireland, it's not just COVID that tourism has had to overcome in recent years. The 30-year conflict, known as the Troubles, halted a lot of travel to this city up until the Good Friday Agreement was signed in 1998. A sort of dark tourism emerged afterwards as visitors explored the places and murals associated with the conflict. But in recent years, murals with other topics at their heart have become a bigger part of the urban landscape. Seedhead Arts have been offering walking tours of these modern murals, and during COVID made a digital walking tour for people to explore individually.
I've been really lucky in that I've been on street art tours in cities around the world, but there's something really different and special about a street art tour here in Belfast. It's not just about the beauty, it's about the culture and the history of this place. And the best thing is that even during a lockdown, in the middle of a pandemic, you can grab the app, head out into the fresh air and safely see these beautiful works of art. It's pretty incredible.
But I'm really here for more traditional arts. The Grand Opera House is the only remaining Victorian theatre in Northern Ireland. Currently celebrating 125 years, it was saved from demolition in the 70s, bombed in the 90s, and now it's been through a year-long restoration attempt right in the middle of a pandemic. It's not yet reopened to the public during my visit, but I'm getting an early preview as it gets its finishing touches. Inside, it's been faithfully restored, bringing things like the ornate ceiling paintings back to their former glory.
So what condition were they in when you came in? Were they just very dirty?
Yeah, we weren't able to pick out the detail, the figurative details, and the varnish had deteriorated significantly, so they were quite brown yellow in colour.
How on earth did you get up there to do it? Because I'm imagining, you know, Michelangelo lying on the back.
Yeah. We had an amazing birdcage scaffolding, which was all one level. So basically, we're working above our heads, but we're also moving around accordingly as well. So we also do exercises, you know, to try and watch our necks and heads, so sort of ballerina exercises, stretching the head. People always say to us, oh, well, you know, like Michelangelo, do you work on the ceiling lying on your back? And no, Michelangelo didn't do that either.
It's a myth.
I know, it's a myth, totally, yeah.
But one of the main difficulties for Ruth was in assembling her team. Having planned to bring in expertise from across Europe, the pandemic meant that Ruth needed to uncover local young talent for the job.
Yeah, challenging, but very, very worthwhile. Some of the team members enjoyed it so much that they want to go and further study and go to university and study conservation.
Now I'm leaving the modern buzz of Belfast and heading north, back along the coast for something more historic.
There are quite a few castles in Northern Ireland, and that, of course, will come as no surprise to fans of Game of Thrones, knowing that parts of that series are filmed here in various castles. It always seems like such a nice idea, owning a castle, but they cost an absolute fortune to run.
And for Glenarm Castle, first built in the 17th century, the impact of the Troubles on tourism meant that relying on visitors to bring in lots of income would have been a risky strategy, until recently. So during the pandemic, when tourism was at an all-time low, they decided to take a leap and invest in tourism for the future.
But it was all about surviving long term. And so we took a look at how we could reinvent ourselves to come out again when this would be over. We knew that the public perception would have changed and that outdoor space was going to be more valuable moving forward. And so we concentrate our efforts on creating outdoor space and activities.
In addition to the gardens on the grounds that were already drawing visitors, Adrian added new glamping pods, as well as electric bikes to be used to explore the wider area, including forest on the outskirts of the grounds. This area, which has barely changed in 400 years, has been recognised in recent years for its vast biodiversity.
This is brilliant because I feel like I'm just really fit. I'll never cycle without this again.
For Adrian, it's a very special place.
So you've been around these parts for quite a while.
Yeah, I grew up here. My father was the chauffeur for the family here, started work in 1960. And when I was a wee boy of 4, I was intrigued by where he was going every day. So I would hide underneath a coat in his wee van. And halfway to work, I would pop up and say, "Surprise, Dad, I'm coming to work with you today." So I completely just fell in love with Glenarm. This is where I wanted to spend the rest of my life. One of my aspirations was to try and open it up more, to share it with everybody. So, and now that's what we're doing.
Back at the castle, Adrian had one more thing to show me.
I don't know what this is going to be. Adrian was kind of laughing when he was talking about it, so we'll see. Adrian, your car's shrunk!
Yeah, this is my toy. Every good estate should have one.
And it turns out the mini Land Rover is actually part of a fleet of them that Adrian's brought in for kids to use on a new off-road course.
Oh, that is brilliant. Look at you. You look like you're 4 years old again, back on the,
yeah,
on the estate.
If I had had something like that when I was 4, I couldn't have contained myself. So you want a wee go?
Yes, obviously.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All you got to do is press the button, hold on tight.
All right.
You're good to go?
Are you pressing the button?
Yeah, I got mine pressed, so.
Okay.
Good luck. Oh, she's off.
This is genius. Thanks, Adrian. See you later.
Bye. Remember to come back now.
That's it, I'm off. See the Giant's Causeway. Bye.
Do you think it's that far enough? I think I should stop her now. Don't trust her on my wheel handover.
The next part of my journey takes me further northeast and off the mainland to Wrathlan Island. A ferry has long been a lifeline for the 150 people who live on this island, and it became particularly vital for getting supplies to the residents over the last year. The islanders took the decision early in the pandemic to stop non-essential access to the island and only recently opened up again to tourists. So far, it's helped keep the island COVID-free, and we've done 2 lateral flow tests before coming over to try and help keep it that way. One of the main draws for tourists is the chance to get close to puffins and other rarely seen birds. So I'm waiting for my guide Liam, warden of the island. He's lived here all his life and has promised me a glimpse of the birds.
Is that the man himself? Hello!
Hello!
You
You
Liam?
must be Krista.
Did my big blue bus give it away?
I'm afraid so. You
shall
come
I
to see
fo-
the puffins?
Yeah, that'd be lovely. Can I follow you?
Yeah, follow me up to the Seabird Centre.
Sounds great. All right, see you there.
A puffin bus usually takes most visitors up to the site, but we have special permission for the Travel Show electric van. The Seabird Centre opened up here for the first time in a year and a half, just a couple of weeks before our visit. And a viewing platform at the back shows the birds putting on quite a display.
Are they all birds?
Yeah, they're all over the place like little pebbles.
I can't quite get my head around how many of them there are here.
It's pretty amazing. It is
There must be
indeed.
hundreds of thousands of birds here.
There is indeed. There's hundreds of thousands. There's about 140,000 guillemots alone. And you see how the flat top there is just completely covered in guillemots. There's about 7,000 or 8,000 guillemots just in that one area. For protection, they would like to be in close proximity to the others, so it's safety in numbers. So if you're nesting in the middle of that density over there, your chance of your egg and your chick surviving is much greater than if you're out on a lower ledge on your own, because they don't have to worry too much about land-based predators here, but there's always other birds. There's great backback gulls and there's ravens and things that will come along and take eggs. So if you're in one of those places, you're better protected.
But now it's time to find the star of the show, the puffins.
If you look out for the orange feet first thing, it'll sort of bounce out at you, either on the bare soil or on the green grassy bits. It's down the bottom there.
Oh, there they are. They're quite obvious. We're meant to be looking for the feet.
The nest underground, so at the minute there'll be one bird in there incubating an egg, and then the other one could be out, its partner could be out feeding out at sea.
And how has it been over the past year? Because you've had quite a unique experience here on Wrathlan Island.
It was strange because you expect to hear a bus going up the road with people on it or something like that, and it's not happening. It's just quiet. Saturday afternoon, there's not a voice to be heard anywhere, along the way. But you get used to it, and it was quite nice. I think that in some ways, everybody felt more relaxed for a year or for a season, because the summer can be quite busy for people doing all sorts of different jobs and facilitating all the people that come here, and not having all that pressure meant that people were pretty laid back. And so it was a chill out year, I suppose.
And now that people are free, like myself, to come over on the ferry, is it nice to welcome people back to Wrathlan?
It's brilliant that they're coming here and having the opportunity to get back to see what's on offer in Wrathlan.
To end my time here, I'm heading back to the mainland and just a little further up the coast.
Coming to the end of our journey soon. Far away. What a good job, old girl. 4 countries, lots of adventures. Now, there's one place in Northern Ireland that I've always really wanted to go to. In fact, I remember really clearly as a kid seeing a picture and saying, what is that place? I want to go there. And now, I'm on my way.
Giant's Causeway is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's been here for millennia. But even this place has been affected by COVID in its own way.
This is it, look at this. Incredible. It's mad to think that nature created this. Legend has it that it came about because of a fight between 2 giants.
It's thought to be the most visited tourist site in Northern Ireland. Around 1 million people came in 2019. But with changes to visitor numbers during the pandemic, the National Trust have said that this is a once-in-a-generation chance to change how they manage their tourism approach to avoid what they call the pitfalls of over-tourism. They've begun spreading visitors out more throughout the day to help make a more positive impact on the local area. Its natural hexagonal columns stretching out to the sea were actually formed because of the way lava slowly cooled when it was created. But that's not the story that captures most people's imagination.
So there's an Irish giant called Finn McCool. He lives here with his wife Una and their son Oisín. And there's a Scottish giant called Ben and Donner, lives on the Scottish island of Staffa, one of the Outer Hebrides. And the 2 of them get into an argument, hurling insults across the sea at each other. And eventually Finn decides he's had enough. He needs to go to Staffa, put an end to it and challenge Ben and Donner. But it's a well-known fact that giants do not like getting their feet wet. So he decided to get up early next morning and build a causeway across the Staffa.
Whichever story is true, Giant's Causeway seems sure to keep the visitors coming for a long time yet. And for me, it's where my journey in Northern Ireland comes to an end.
I've been really struck by the resilience of the people I've met here and their optimism. They're determined to not just get through this crisis, but to do better on the other side of it. And I think for UK travellers, the past year has been a good chance for us to take stock and appreciate what we have right here on our doorstep.